Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are pleased to have in the studio with us today our friends from Golden State Ballet, Magda O'Neill. She is the executive director, joined by her colleague, Raul Salamanca. He is the artistic director. How are you folks doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
Doing great.
It's a beautiful day.
Glad
How are you?
I'm doing just fine over here. Now that we're going to talk some very cool things, but love to have the arts in. And my colleague, Kristen Fogel, is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and has done plays, has done acting, has done everything in between. So when she saw this on the agenda, she goes, "Can I do the whole interview,
All
Drew?"
my arts and culture. I just love it.
I know you do. So I'll let you get started, okay, Kristen?
Sounds great. Yeah. So tell us the mission of Golden State Ballet to get us started.
Well,
please don't fight.
So
Yeah.
who's going to answer this one?
Sure.
First of all, thank you for having us here today. We're really, really happy to join you guys.
Absolutely.
So the mission of Golden State Ballet is to provide the city of San Diego and the state of California with a world-class ballet company that they can all be very proud of.
Very cool. And you're relatively new, right? So you started in 2021, is that right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes. The
excellent.
company got incorporated in April of 2021.
Excellent. And where do you perform out of? I'm less familiar with you all, so tell me about that.
Sure. So as a new company, we wanted to first get comfortable in one theater. So we jumped into the deep end right away and performed a full-on Nutcracker in December 2021, just as we started coming out of the pandemic. We're great friends with the San Diego Civic Theater folks, San Diego Theaters, and the San Diego Symphony. So our first time as a company performing a really large ballet was this giant theater.
Absolutely.
We were so grateful to take over and, bring some holiday cheer to families in San Diego in.
That's amazing.
So, Magda, how did you get involved? Have you always enjoyed ballet? Have you performed ballet? You did this as a young kid. Your parents have done it. Your grandparents, everybody in between.
No to me being a dancer. No, actually I got my start as a violinist. My parents liked to tell me when I was little that the first sentence that I would say over and over when I first learned to talk was, "I want a violin and I want a little brother." I still don't have a little brother.
I was going to say, which came first?
Yeah.
Okay, obviously the
Still
violin.
no brother. Two wonderful sisters, but I studied violin from the age of 7. Got a performance degree, but realized in college that really my calling was to help other artists have a fulfilling career. So I switched and ended up studying arts administration.
Nice.
Worked mostly for actually the San Diego Symphony for several years, and then. Pandemic happened, things changed. And I met Raul and also John Stubbs, our music director. And the three of us bonded. And as kind of one thing and one conversation led to another, we ended up starting Golden State Ballet. We realized there was a need, there was a void here in San Diego for the type of company that we are. And so we just filled out the paperwork, got going. We're very grateful to wonderful dancers who followed us, joined us, folks in the community who stepped up and wrote checks to help us get going and continue to be. And now we're performing several times a year and doing some outreach in the community. And from here, I'll take it.
Yeah, Raul, what's your
to
story?
Raul.
Well, I come in with the dancing, yes.
Okay. Someone has to.
Someone. So, and my story it's one that I think it's heard before and resonates with a lot of young boys. So my mom used to be a dancer, and she had nothing but boys. So completely opposite of Magda is that she kept having boys. And I was born in Puerto Rico, and unfortunately, there, even though dancing is part of our culture, ballet is not the first thing that you think of when you want to. Add an extracurricular activity to your son's schedule.
Right.
So it wasn't until we moved to Florida from Puerto Rico that my mom we finally have a little sister, my little sister, Veronica. She was only 3 years old and signed up for local classes. And my mom saw a boy my age dancing. And she really honestly felt like I always had that kind of, connection with music. I was always very musical. I like to sing. I like to watch Michael Jackson. I used to mimic all his moves in my living room. And so it came natural to me that I just found joy in dance and in music. And I was raised in a family full of musicians and artists. So it came natural to me. We had instruments all over our place. There were pianos and violins and flutes that we weren't allowed to touch because they were so expensive. But I think also that kind of environment really allowed me to think about different ways of making a living and just being me. So I started with that, just 12, 13 years old, dancing. My younger brother also actually became a professional dancer briefly, and now does a completely different job. But yeah, so I come from that kind of a background. It's dancing and athletics, love athletics, and yeah, it's been ever since I was 12 years old. I've been at it, and it's been my life.
Yeah.
No, that's terrific. We're chatting with our friends from the Golden State Ballet, Magda O'Neill. She's the executive director, joined by her colleague, Raul Salamanca. He is the artistic director. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County. I'm joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. on this. I'll start with you on this, Magda, and you jump in, Raul, as well, and certainly give your 2 cents as well. Kristen, is San Diego a good ballet town? Is there a big enough audience for it? Is it growing? Are they getting sophisticated in it? Talk about that.
Absolutely. Oh, I love this topic. I think San Diego is a lovely environment for all arts to thrive in. Before moving out here in 2006 from Texas, I was doing some Googling, and I was curious about the very question that you just asked of what is this town like before I move out here and start a career and a family. And I remember hearing the statistics that there were approximately 70 theaters in San Diego, and that was it right there for me, knowing that back in, that many years ago, there were already so many people who had that ambition, and there were artists and there were supporters to make that happen. I knew, okay, there's great potential to have a career in the arts and do something that matters. So today, I believe, I haven't checked that statistic, but there's certainly no shortage of things to do. Look at any events calendar.
Right.
There's always something competing for your time in the arts alone. Never mind
Absolutely.
Padres games.
Right.
There's a lot. And now as a parent of 3 wonderful children, we have to pick and choose between soccer games that my boys are in, or going and having a family night out and exploring what there is to do in San Diego. And Raul, since you're the dancer here, I'll let you take the question about ballet companies.
So I actually, I think what the main issue has been is that there's plenty of talent here. There's plenty of talent in California. There's fantastic schools that provide, that create great dancers. For example, our own school, Golden State Ballet Academy, has helped young dancers achieve some really incredible things, but they're still attracted to go to companies outside of California. They want to go to New York. They want to go to Chicago. They want to go to Europe, where they have these companies with these incredible reputations. But for me, that's where I see the issue, is that we do have the talent here. And we have an incredible city that I would have absolutely no problem getting people to come and be part of it. It's an incredible, incredible city. So I can pick up the phone and talk to anybody and let them know about what we're doing. Everybody's always so excited. I can't believe I'm going to go and do what I love in San Diego. So in that aspect, I feel like we have something really, really going on. Now, where we come in is that we're trying to be that company that is a destination company for these artists. So the higher the talent, the higher the pay, the higher the expectations. It's just like in any other industry.
Yep.
Professional athletes.
That's right.
Anywhere. So what we're trying to do is establish this company as a leading ballet company, a company where dancers from all over the world want to go, if I had a choice of where I could go, San Diego sounds really, really good, and they have a company with an incredible repertoire, and they have, and they also, it's a company that is built with the idea that it's open to everyone, and it's financially responsible, and it's also trying to do things right from the beginning. And I think that that's a really attractive thing. I have no problem getting talent here. What we have is the issue is that it's the finances to maintain them here.
Yeah.
How do they find an apartment? Right?
Yes.
Everybody deals with this. We're talking about normal people here.
Yeah.
Just like you and me, they need a place to live. So we are faced with those challenges. But I mean, look what other institutions like the San Diego Symphony has been able to do.
That's right.
Right? It's that they put a world-class product on stage, and then now they're getting world-class funding. And that's something that's our motto. That's what we're going to do. And actually, the program that we're about to perform on June 2nd and June 4th, called Trifecta, is really indicative of what we are trying to accomplish as a company. It's a beacon. It's like we're here. It's like that lighthouse out there for all these artists and for people who are really looking for quality productions, for real great dancing. This is it. This is the call. We're here.
Is it going to be at the Civic?
Correct.
Okay,
Civic.
yeah.
June 2nd at the Civic.
Yeah, and before we go to break, I want to just ask another question. I know Kristen has a bunch of them for you after break as well. And you brought up the symphony, both you, Magda, and you, Raul. Obviously, what we've seen with the symphony. Now, did you work when Ward Gill was there?
I did.
I love
Yes,
Ward.
He hired me.
Ward's the best. Is he still around, or did he leave
I
town?
haven't seen him in several years.
Yeah, so Ward Gill was the longtime symphony CEO, just a great guy, full of enthusiasm, funny as can be, and so forth. On that, obviously, it's a world-class symphony now, with the shell and everything. That's got to help you, and I'll start with you on this, Raul, and you can jump on this too, Magda, before we go to break. When you have world-class fill-in-the-blank symphony or opera and all that, that's got to help you with the ballet, correct?
It actually does. And that's one thing is that I think we're different because we're pro-growth. We want ballet companies to thrive, not just survive. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think that we're coming with this mentality that I think hasn't really been present in our community. It's that we're really open and trying to do everything possible to provide artists with a beautiful home that they can really get down and create incredible art that we can all appreciate and benefit from. But then also helping the community out. Like, we're so driven also by what we're allowed to do. Once a company starts to succeed, we get so excited about like Ronald McDonald House. Like really, we're not kidding. Like we just had a performance there, and that was facilitated by the donations and the ticket sales of these performances. We went there and we had this incredible show. Both Magda and I, we're parents. We have children, so that was obviously a very difficult moment for us. But we also looked at each other thinking, but look what we're able to do. Look what we're capable of doing. We're bringing joy and beauty into this world, and for people who really need it.
Yeah.
Well, funny you mentioned that. Chuck Day is one of my close friends. Chuck is the CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities right across the street from Rady Children's Hospital, which we were just chatting about earlier today. So that's just spot on what you're doing on that. We come back from break. I want to continue that conversation, talk more about Trifecta as well, and also want to always save time. I know, again, Kristen has some other questions for you, but we always save time in the second half of the interview. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? Obviously, go to Trifecta, of course, promote ballet and all that business, but anything else you can think of, we'll be happy to address in the second half. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic.
You bet. We're going to be right back with Magda O'Neill, the executive director of the Golden State Ballet, joined by her colleague, Raul Salamanca. He is the artistic director for the ballet. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year. We're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 60 years. Been doing wonderful things for us folk living in San Diego County. Honored to have in the studio with us today our friends from the Golden State Ballet, Magda O'Neill, Executive Director, joined by her colleague, Raul Salamanca. He is the Artistic Director. And I'm pleased to turn it back over to my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen.
So we were kind of touching on during the break just how important it is that we have a resource like this in San Diego. I have a really close colleague whose daughter is a ballerina. And I mean, same thing. There was no professional kind of company for her so she went to Boston. She's in San Antonio now. And I just love that this exists. It's the same thing in the theater world. You know, we have some world-class people that do theater here, but there are only so many houses that you can, perform shows in. So you end up going elsewhere. So I just love that. How are you working to find these individuals and to retain them? Like, tell me a bit about that.
All companies go through a normal audition process, and dancers who are looking to become professionals, so our professional dancers, are aware that every year all of our contracts are seasonal. They run only once, like one contract a year. Now, you could negotiate, but that's at least just where the starting point is.
Yeah.
So they know that around springtime, most companies are starting to decide their plans for the following season. Some dancers retire, some get injured, some decide to move on and try something different. That opens up spots. And now at that moment, then dancers are going ahead and sending their materials, their audition materials, videos, photos, resumes, and we get to see them. And then if we find someone that we find a good match to the company, and I see that they're, you can't really see who they are as people, but definitely their body of work, literally. And then you invite them to come and take company class, where you get a chance, an opportunity then to meet them in person. So that's an industry normal.
Sure.
Now, the one thing that I think really, really helps get attention is the type of productions that we do, the repertoire that we bring. So, you mentioned Boston Ballet. And then you mentioned that you have a friend who has a daughter who has had to leave the state to pursue her career.
Yes.
And that's literally my fight every single day. I wake up every day with that idea that I really want to make Golden State Ballet a destination company for any dancer who would love to dance the best repertoire that we can possibly get in an incredibly dynamic, beautiful city to live in. And I think that's a dream for most people, right?
100%.
So, and here we are doing this. So for example, Trifecta, the program that we're doing June 2nd at the Civic Theater, and also we're performing it June 4th in Irvine at the Barclay Theater. Still plenty of tickets available. People check it out. So this program, when I put this program together, was an incredibly ambitious program. A company that's only been around for 3 years usually does not have these type of connections and capacity to produce a show of our scale. So my plan was this. When we started the season, I go, okay, we're on our 3rd year, on our 3rd anniversary, and we go, wow, can't believe we're here, but also at the same time, we've been doing this. This has been a lot of work that we've been putting together. We should celebrate that we've made it this far.
Yeah.
And that's where we got this idea of champagne and bubbles and just knowing that as a business or any type of endeavor that anybody takes on, your 3rd year anniversary is big. If you made it after your 3 years, that's you're doing well.
Right.
So we wanted to really manifest that. And what I did was that I took this opportunity to really think, how can I put Golden State Ballet on the map? I used my connections. So I actually was a dancer with Boston Ballet for 8 seasons, where I had a beautiful career there. And I got an opportunity to meet Jorma Ello, who's one of the choreographers for our program. Now, he's the resident choreographer of Boston Ballet. And he was also one of really well-known dancer of this company called the Netherlands Dance Theater. That is based in Den Haag, in the Netherlands, in Holland. And it is considered by many to be the best contemporary ballet company in the world. That company was essentially at the helm of that company for close to 40 years was Yidi Killian, which is another choreographer whose work will be featured in our program. He is considered by many the equivalent of George Balanchine when it comes to his just his body of work. The amount of influence that he's had on the dance world is incredible. There's not one contemporary dance choreographer out there that has not been influenced by this man.
Wow.
I mean, really, it's one of the greatest artists of our generation. And to be able to have the connections and the ability to bring that kind of work here takes companies years, if not, it's never done. If they do not know the people. Now, I was lucky enough to have a career that exposed me to works by Yidi Killian. I met the man personally. He won't fly. That's one of the things that he does. He just does not get in planes. So a lot of dancers in the United States get to, not a lot, but some dancers that get to perform his work never get to meet the man. I was able to meet him. I was on tour with a company in Venice, and we were doing one of his ballets, and he came to coach us. And I was one of those very few lucky North American dancers that got an opportunity to work one-on-one with him. And I'm telling you, when I wrote the email to the Killian Foundation, asking them for permission, or at least to talk, that really came in handy. It really did. He remembered me, and he knows that I had worked in his work with many different companies, so they have a line of trust. So that's how you start. Now, the third choreographer in that program is also involved with Netherlands Dance Theater. Her name is Andrea Shermoli. Now, I've known her from my days from Boston Ballet. She was a young dancer at the company at that time before she joined the Netherlands Dance Theater. And now she's an incredible choreographer. She's the resident choreographer of Louisville Ballet. And she's coming back to do her second work for the company. And again, this is just an incredibly talented human being with an incredible, just resume, just really brilliant. And also it ticks the boxes that every single year, my goal is to hire a female choreographer. Every single year that we've been on, I make sure that we work with women to really make sure that we give them the opportunity and the platform to showcase their work. Because even though ballet, it's heavily dominated by women.
Right.
Men tend to be the ones that run the companies and produce the shows. And we wanted to pay attention to that. We wanted to make sure that now that we have an opportunity to build a company, we want to make a company of the future. We had a brief little talk here about some of the negativity that has come about with ballet. And that could be a conversation for another day, but I think that that's something that we're really sensitive about and that we're really aware of. That we want to be that kind of company that does not bring in any of the drama, any of the negativity that tend to be associated with ballet. I will say, though, a lot of it has been really magnified by movies because it's a low-hanging fruit. It's an easy thing to make drama out of. But there are definitely some issues, like in any other industry, that had to be addressed. And since we were born out of that time, the company, we have nothing but like the opportunity to create a company the way that we have. And it's really inclusive. We respect our dancers. It's an incredible environment. These are really happy individuals who love what they do. And that's our job. Our job is to create them with an environment that allows them to focus in their dancing. And also they know that they feel supported. And they're just human beings. They're incredible athletes, incredible artists. But at the end of the day, just like you and me, they have good days, they have bad days.
Sure.
But again, it's that kind of thing. It's bringing great repertoire like the one that we have for Trifecta, which very few companies get to do, and then creating an environment that dancers want to be in. Right. That's what gets the dancers here.
You had asked earlier, what is our mission?
Yeah.
There's a sentence towards the end of our mission statement that talks about retaining folks. We want people to, once they find us, to stay on board with us. So this really does echo what Raul is saying, that it is absolutely critical it's a core of who we are as a company.
Before we ask you to shout out your website so that we can come see your beautiful work, can you talk to us about how long the run is, and are tickets affordable? Are there lots of tiers? Just tell me about that.
Sure. So we have 2 performances, June 2nd at 2 p.m. at the Civic Theater. It is a large theater, and then the one in the Irvine Barclay Theater, a little smaller, but there are plenty of seats for both still available. Ticket prices start at $38.50, go up to about $78.50, plus the pesky theater fees that we have no control over, such as life.
Yeah, sounds great. And then can you shout out the website so that we can all find you?
At goldenstateballet.org.
Beautiful.
Well, listen, the way Raul described it, this is a Hall of Fame production with Hall of Fame people that are internationally, probably they're known in the Milky Way solar system for that matter, and congratulations to you. And of course, your work at the Boston Ballet for bringing this. And I really do hope that folks in San Diego know what you're bringing on the 2nd. Not that the other ballets don't bring good stuff to it. This is a very special trifecta based on the people that you are involved in this thing. I'm going to leave it up to my former colleagues at the San Diego Union Tribune. You have some great theater writers there that hopefully, I'm not sure if Pam Cragen is still working for yes, she is. Okay, good. I've worked for the paper for a billion years. And she's a superstar. Has she done a preview on this yet?
We hope that she gives us a little love for this program.
Well, knowing Pam and knowing her expertise in the theater arts and knowing what you just described, I imagine she's going to let people know this is a can't miss. You will not see these type of performances. I don't want to say once in a lifetime because you'll probably do it again in year 4. But I think that's great. What else can we do? Spent about a minute talking about this. Magda, our listeners can support your efforts. Obviously, go to Trifecta, whether it's here or it's up on the 4th, different venue. What else can we do?
Thank you for asking. I think showing up at the theater and seeing what we do, and not just the dancing, but the production elements as well, I think it would be so incredible and worth the time. Our Nutcracker that we do year after year now, it has become truly a family tradition, holiday tradition for so many folks in San Diego. And what we were speaking about how we can elevate, not just the dancing, but the production value. One thing that we did this year, and I'm hoping I'm not spoiler alerting to too many children listening, but we added snow in the theater. Ooh. I can't tell you what a magical moment that was when it came down and everyone was oohing and eyeing, folks of all ages. But come out, have some fun. Folks who are able, I'm not speaking to everybody, but folks who are able to support financially, of course, that's what helps us continue. Ticket sales will only cover some percentage of our operating expenses. We can't make it with ticket sales alone. So reach out, visit goldenstateballet.org to see what our performance dates are. There's a bright donate button that you certainly can't miss if you're able to help us that way as well. And tell your friends if you've been to the ballet. Bring them along and show up, and we'd love to meet you in the lobby as well on your way in.
Why don't we make it a point that when we're getting close to the Nutcracker, let's get you folks back in the studio, if that's all right with you.
That would be great.
And maybe some of the folks that are going to be performing.
That would be cool.
That would be lovely.
Yes,
totally.
Consider that a done deal. And so we'll work with Sarah Wacker on that one, and you let her know that we want you to make a return appearance. What an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Raul, and you, Magda. Nothing but great success on the June 2nd Trifecta and June 4 up in Irvine if you can't make it here at the Civic Theater. And we're going to look forward to having you come back on and make another appearance on our Spotlight Show.
Thank you, Drew and Kristen, for having us so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much
for coming in.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Talking to our good friends at the Golden State Ballet. I'm Drew Schlosberg. As you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, we are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.